Welcome to No Apologies on Beck. I am your host, Lori Hins. With me, remoting in, is the one and only Clay Clark, the founder of the Reawaken America tour. Clay, thanks for joining us once again on No Apologies.
Hey, thank you for allowing me to be here with your listeners today, and I hope I can drop some knowledge bombs that your listeners did not know. So folks, grab a pen and a pad.
Yes, it's always good to take notes when Clay's on the air. So I thought it would be a really good idea to talk a little bit about your Reawaken America tour. I know that you had one recently in Virginia Beach, but where are you going next with your tours?
Well, we're going to do 3 final events. And just for clarity, the reason why my wife and I are doing these events is we just, just like everybody out there listening, we were just asking, God, I wish there was a burning bush moment that I could tell you, but we were just asking God how he could use our time and treasure and talents to help save this nation. And my background before this is, I own companies. And so I'm very good at or skilled at or gifted at whatever, organizing things at scale. That's what I do. And many years ago, I built America's largest entertainment company for weddings. So we would do about 4,000 weddings a year and all the logistics that go into that, the sound, the lights, the entertainment, the photography, the video, that kind of thing. And so I called General Flynn and I said, hey, General Flynn, I really feel like God, would like us to do a Reopen America tour where we kill the spirit of fear and we just share the truth about medical fraud, election fraud, religious fraud, monetary fraud, and we get people back to God. And he said yes. He said, yes, we do need to do this. And so he and I have been, I would say he's kind of Batman and I'm Beavis, okay? But we're kind of a tag team duo. We've been doing this now for a year, and he wants to do 3 more events. So he and Eric Trump have decided on the final 3 locations. So we'll be going to, in August, we're going to Rochester, New York. September, we're going to the Idaho-Washington border, just outside of Spokane there. And then we're going to Pennsylvania for our final stop in October. And again, you can always name your price to attend our events. So I mentioned that because I don't take any income or salary from these events. This isn't a career thing for me. This is just something I feel like we need to do. And so when you get to these events, you get there, the doors open at 6 a.m. Praise and worship starts about 8 a.m. We have a great praise and worship band from Influence Music, and we have Sean Foyt, the praise and worship leader there. And then we kick off at 10 a.m. and it goes nonstop most days until about 6 p.m. And in Virginia Beach, we had 84 confirmed speakers, and we had over 1.4 million people streaming that event. So, I mean, it really reaches a lot of people. We're honored to do it during this season, and we're just hoping we can wake up people before it's too late for our great republic.
How on earth do you work the name your own price thing? I've never heard of such a thing at any type of an event.
I haven't either. And it's let me just tell you it's the reverse of a get rich quick strategy. Okay. So I'm a business consultant. I also own businesses. And if you own a business, I'll tell you that there's 3 quick steps if you want to build a successful company. Step 1, look at the math. You start with the math and you say, okay, mathematically, how do I break even? Mathematically, how do I make a profit? Mathematically, how do I scale that profit? For these events, my wife and I just felt a strong call, like a lot of your listeners, that we needed to get the Patriots together. We needed to get Stella Emanuel and Jim Caviezel and Mike Lindell and General Flynn and a lot of people I've met through business over the years. We need to get Eric Trump in the room. We need to get Sidney Powell. We need to get Simone Gold. We need to get all these people on one stage to share the truth. And, and a lot of these people have been hit hard by the lockdowns and quarantines and that sort of thing. It's really hurt their businesses. And just like President Trump, by the way, who lost a significant portion of net worth as a result of becoming our president. Mm-hmm. And so my wife and I, what we do is any of the speakers that need help with travel costs, we reimburse them. And then we let anybody who attends name their price. And the average person, people sometimes they say, I'm in a bad spot. Can I pay $25? You have some people that, are like, hey, I'd love to really support the tour. Could I pay $150? And then we have a few VIP tickets and those, work together. But so far it has been the reverse of a get rich quick scheme. It is a lose a lot of money quickly scheme. But we're waking up a lot of people. And I don't take on sponsors because I do not want to be controlled. And that's why, like if you go to some RNC events, and I'm not saying all RNC events, I'm saying there's a lot of great RNC events, but I'm sure you've seen them and I've seen them too. But it's like, and our next speaker is here to expose Big Pharma, and he's sponsored by Big Pharma. And so it creates kind of a disingenuous thing. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker here is here to talk to you about the dangers of the Pfizer shot, sponsored by Pfizer. Pfizer.
Right.
That's why watching Sean Hannity is so difficult for people. It's just such a cognitive dissonance. Or there's even candidates that are not, and I'll give you an example. Mitt Romney. A lot of times you'll see people like Mitt Romney show up at these big events, or Mike Pence. They show up and they put butts in the seats, and they usually have someone paying their speaking fee, but then it feels insincere. So I just don't do that. We just let people name their price. And thankfully, the Patriots have been showing up, and we have 3 final events. So if you want to witness history, and you also are going to laugh a lot. I mean, Jim Brewer, the comedian's there. JP Sears.
I just saw a bit by him that was like crying laughing. It was so funny. He was actually talking about the Rona in it, and it was hysterical. And by the way, you had me at Jim Caviezel, so you needn't have even said anything after that. That was pretty much all I really heard after that. But I did hear you say that you had 84 different people, and you got to pay them to make the appearances, do you not? Please tell me that they're not all doing this on their own dime.
Most of them are doing it without pay. And the way I do for all the speakers is I reimburse the speakers that need help with travel costs. But none of us are really profiting from this. It's just kind of a thing where I'm not trying to be negative with your listeners, but I believe that we as a country have about 12 months left.
Total. That's it.
Yeah. If we don't change it.
Well, I can understand why you would say that. I realize that we have an election coming up, and it's a big one, and it's going to be really interesting to see if it's some election integrity or not. And I think we're all going to know immediately. I personally do. I think we're all,
If you look at it right now, there's a thing called a FEIC. I encourage everyone to look this up. Assume I'm crazy, okay? It's PHEIC, FEIC. And Tedros, this guy Tedros of the World Health Organization, keeps mentioning that they're going to declare a FEIC soon. And a FEIC is more dangerous than a pandemic. It stands for a public health emergency of international concern. So when he talks, a lot of people don't really listen to what he's saying because he has no energy. He's usually reading a teleprompter, and he sounds like English is his 5th or 6th language. And so he gets up there and says, "We're here to talk about the monkeypox, and we're here to talk about the FEIC, and the monkeypox, and if you could do it." People are just like, I can't do it. I don't know what you're saying. But anyway, so if you get a chance to vote, I encourage everyone to do it today, okay? So please type in a public health emergency of international concern. Type that in, and when you find it in Google on the World Health Organization website, you can download it, and they clearly read in very haunting language what is going to happen in the event of a declaration of a FEIC. In July 21st, they're supposed to declare one. So right now, as we're doing this show, they're already doing the mask mandates again in Oregon. They're rolling them out in Los Angeles. They're talking about rolling them out in Phoenix, Arizona right now. This is right now, as the time we're recording this, they're right now. So these are the 8 steps they've already agreed on as of January 30th of 2020. Step 1, mobilize research on rapid point of care diagnostics for use at the community level. Step 2, immediately assess available data to learn what standard of care approaches from China are most effective.
Welcome back to No Apologies. I'm Lori Hins. With me, remoting in, Clay Clark, and we were going through the different number of things involved with FEIC and the steps planned for us here in America. We were through 1 and 2, but I think you have a number of other steps that they have ready for us, unfortunately.
Well, I wanted to also thank you for letting me be here on your show with you on your 27th birthday. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So listen, if you're out there today, folks, and you are saying, well, what is a FEIC? Well, first off, a FEIC, it's PHEIC. And I'm only saying FEIC because every time that Tedros gets up and talks at the World Health Organization, you go to YouTube tonight, just type in World Health Organization. He gets up there and he says, "We're here to talk about the monkeypox, and we're here to discuss the potential of declaring a FEIC." And everyone, no one knows what he was talking about. No one knows. And he doesn't know either because he's reading a teleprompter, okay? So the FEIC, what this is, just so we're very clear, okay, it stands for a public health emergency of international concern. And in the event that he calls one, and by the way, he has discussed calling the monkeypox FEIC on July 21st. In the event that happens, there's 8 steps that all these countries, 100 plus countries, have already agreed they're going to do moving forward. Okay. So 1 is they want to mobilize research on rapid point of care diagnostics for the use at the community level. So basically deploying people right away to identify who's sick in a very aggressive way or who could be sick. Step 2 is they want to immediately assess the available data to learn what standard of care approaches from China are the most effective. Remember China? That's who locked people in their homes. China, who euthanized people's dogs to prevent the spread of a virus. So that's what they want to do. Now, Michael Ryan is the guy who works for the World Health Organization. And Michael Ryan is kind of like the guy at the press conference that we all fear. He reminds me a lot of a young Chris Farley. And Tedros will get up there and say, and now to talk about more about the monkeypox, we have Dr. Michael Ryan. And Dr. Michael Ryan gets up there. And this bro, they did a 53-minute press conference on June 1st. And he was only allowed to speak for about 4 minutes. But I want people to hear what he said out loud. Listen to this. This is Dr. Michael Ryan discussing the World Health Organization and their response to monkeypox.
This is not about stealing sovereignty from countries. This is about countries coming together to solve problems.
He just said this is not about stealing sovereignty from countries. I'm sure behind the scenes they said, hey, listen here. Don't mention we're trying to take over the world. So then, I'm not kidding. So then a reporter asks, sir, could you clarify? And he says this. Listen to what he says. Here we go.
And there is no question of any loss of sovereignty or any play by global powers to take over the world. This is not what this is about. This is about finding the necessary level of agreement to protect all of our communities in the future.
And now this is crazy. If you go to Google right now and you type in DuckDuckGo or Google, type in China non-military. Just type in China non-military, hit enter, boom. You'll see China's leader, okay, Xi Jinping, he signed over new rules. This is the biggest military operation perhaps in the world's history that no one's talked about. He just authorized his military to be used for non-military operations.
Wow.
So if you understand how the World Health Organization, this FEAK works, okay? And Dr. Peter Breggin, by the way, will be a great guest for you to talk more about this because he's done tons of research into this. And I've read all the documentation as well. But in the event of a FEAK, okay, being called, all the countries have agreed that any country that won't capitulate and agree with the standard of care, masks, lockdowns, quarantines, they're a threat to other countries. As an example, if a man in North Dakota is not wearing a shirt while mowing his field without wearing a mask, so a farmer in North Dakota is working in his field without wearing a mask, he is deemed to be a threat to a guy in Australia who is observing the lockdown. And therefore, all the countries have already agreed they are willing to work together to stop the spread by any means necessary.
Yikes, that is terrifying. And to me, in North Dakota, I'm sorry, but we're done with the pandemic. This is no longer a pandemic. We're done. We're done.
Right.
So
I've been to North Dakota this year.
To bring it back, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
I've been to North Dakota this year, and I've been to South Dakota this year. I've been to the Dakotas, and I will tell you, the more distance you get from the big cities, the more common sense you find. Again, if you're looking for common sense, go a large distance from the cities, and you'll find people that love Jesus, they love their Bible, they love the Constitution, and they have a simple understanding of the simple truths. What do I mean? It's not complicated. They know if it's a boy or a girl. They know right or wrong, left or right, black or white, up or down. They think that way. And this dystopian mindset of Yuval Noah Harari and Klaus Schwab that seeks to confuse our children about their gender and about their health status. I mean, these people want us to get tested. They want us to get tested for a virus that's so deadly, we have to get tested to know if we have it.
Right.
These people want to misclassify deaths, to falsely attribute deaths to COVID-19 that aren't caused by COVID-19. These people want to use a polymerase chain reaction test that is falsely calibrated to inflate the cases. So if you're looking for some left and right, A and B, 1 and 2, black and white, it's just plain, simple to understand, direct, biblical truth. I encourage you to go to timetofreeamerica.com and book your tickets to attend the Reawaken America tour, because we talk about election fraud, medical fraud, religious fraud, monetary fraud, but it's black or white. And the information is embarrassing for a lot of Republicans, and it's demoralizing for a lot of Democrats, because at the end of the day, if you are connected to the World Economic Forum, if you are selling the farmland in North Dakota to the Chinese, if you are part of the government up there in North Dakota, and you are selling precious farmland to the Chinese, if you are the governor of Texas and you are working with the World Economic Forum, if you are the governor of Georgia and you deny election fraud occurred, if you are one of these rhinos, it is rhino hunting season. And I'm telling people are waking up right now. I'm seeing people wake up because it is the Great Reawakening versus the Great Reset. And that's why we're doing these final 3 events. You can get those tickets at time2freeamerica.com. We have Rochester in August, September, we have Washington, Idaho, and then October, the final event is in Pennsylvania, time2freeamerica.com.
I'm very excited about that. I think it sounds like it's something that people should really consider doing. Make your arrangements, get online, make sure you get yourself registered for them too. Do you have a limit of registration?
Well, each event we can accommodate about 3,000 people. So we usually end up turning down a lot of folks for that. But you just go to time2freeamerica.com and you can request a ticket. And I always tell people that if you're the host of a show called No Apologies, you really want to come to the Reawaken America Tour before your 28th birthday. So you still have time. I know you just turned 27, so we've got about 12 months. But I only have 3 events in the last 4 months. So you really got 4 months to get to these because we're only doing a few more. And folks, if you want to request a ticket, you can text this number I've written on my cup. This is my marketing cup. It's 918-851-0102. This is my actual cell phone number, folks. 918-851-0102. Just text that number on the cup and you will request a ticket to the time2freeamerica.com Reawaken America Tour.